even though you can have your data in different places, you can leverage architecture, referred to as data fabric or data mesh, to sort of bring it all together, right? So where it actually resides isn't necessarily an issue. It's much more around governance, right? But the issues behind having all of your data siloed in different locations is more around gatekeeping and around individual business units who might not trust other business units to get their data or to understand their data, or more around not willing to share or have it be governed properly, right? And so those fundamentally are business questions as opposed to tech questions. Biggest risk that I always see is around, and I'll use the old term FUD, right? Fear, uncertainty, and doubt. Maybe you get rid of the fear thing, right? But uncertainty and doubt around the quality of the data. What often ends up happening when you don't have any sort of centralized governance or centralized repositories is you'll end up having people make multiple copies in their own little silos, right? So you may have a common metric, right, like customer churn or something like that, and then the marketing department might end up with their own special version of it, and then the product department might end up with their own special version of it, and the sales department might end up with their own special version of it, and now all of a sudden you're reporting to executives churn, and they're three wildly different numbers, right? Or they're in three like minorly different numbers. But once an executive sees numbers that are differing, that's going to bring up uncertainty. It's going to bring up doubt in the ability of the people to actually put forth good reports and good information. It's a strategy and governance issue. So let's say that you have a metric, right, that gets reported to a regulatory agency, and you've got your official one, and you've got the one this department's doing, that department's doing, right? If they're all coming from the same source, or they all have the exact same definition with the same mapped out lineage data sources being used, then you know you're going to be all aligned. If you're not aligned, what does that do if you actually end up getting audited, right? Now, yes, the company can say, hey, this is the metric of truth as someone that we push out there. But anytime a regulator, just like an executive, sees a little bit of differences in something that has to be 100% correct, that ends up creating potential for there being regulatory issues, right, or compliance issues. It's going to speed up your operational performance, right, because most likely the people who are putting your reports together for you aren't going to have to start pulling out from those bandit spreadsheets, asking people for this report from like 3 years ago or whatever. It should all be in a relatively centralized, easy to grab place. So that means that they get to do their job faster, which means they get to do more analysis, providing better insights to executives. The very first thing that you do is try to understand what is out there, right? So it's Donald Rumsfeld, the former Secretary of Defense from years ago, said that there are the known unknowns and the unknown unknowns and the known knowns and all kind of good stuff. And so yes, you need to get rid of those unknown unknowns, right? You need to understand at least what's our landscape, what are some of the risks that are out there, and that can take some time to actually figure out. But also, you want to take some time and do a data management or data governance maturity assessment for your organization, is to see where you're at and where you might need to get better at, right? So those are the very first steps, right? Identify what is actually out there, because you don't need to actually make sure that everything is the platinum standard, right? You just need to know what of all your data state needs to be at that platinum standard, right? And so that first step is just kind of identifying what it is, what's out there, what are your risks? So, and that's where doing some good process mapping, doing some good data mapping can come in handy.